The world awoke to a headline no one thought possible: Beijing and Taipei announce historic alliance. The news broke at dawn in Washington, D.C., sending shockwaves through global power centers. For decades, the Taiwan Strait was the world's most dangerous flashpoint. Now partnership had replaced conflict. The implications were immediate and profound, upending the established global order. Broadcast live from Singapore, the leaders of China and Taiwan stood side by side, their handshake signaling a new era. This was not surrender or annexation, but a pact for a shared future. In Washington, stunned silence gave way to frantic activity, emergency meetings, urgent calls to allies, and a scramble to understand what had just happened. America's Indo-Pacific strategy, built on defending Taiwan, was suddenly obsolete. Around the globe, disbelief mixed with cautious optimism. In Moscow, analysts saw a strategic victory. In Brussels, leaders were caught off guard. Indo-Pacific nations from Australia to the Philippines faced a new reality, a powerful East Asian bloc capable of reshaping global politics. Stock markets plunged as investors tried to process the seismic shift. The US dollar fluctuated wildly, defense stocks plummeted, tech companies faced an uncertain future. The alliance promised unprecedented cooperation, but also threatened to sideline Silicon Valley. The world held its breath as two former adversaries took their first steps together. This was more than a regional agreement, it was a historical turning point. The ground beneath the global order had shifted. Old assumptions were shattered overnight. The world was forced to grapple with a new power dynamic. The consequences would unfold for years to come. The joint press conference in Singapore was political theater at its finest. The leaders of China and Taiwan walked onto the stage together, projecting unity and resolve. The Chinese leader spoke of burying the hatchet and embracing a future of shared prosperity. The Taiwanese leader framed the alliance as a pragmatic choice for survival and growth, not a concession. Today we choose a different path, a path of peace, cooperation, and mutual respect. The message: this alliance was about building a better future, not erasing the past. Reporters pressed for answers on democracy, U.S. involvement, and sovereignty. The leaders sidestepped, focusing on economic integration, technological synergy, and ending military tensions. The world's media was in a frenzy, stunned by a move that defied all Western intelligence assessments. The announcement revealed months, perhaps years, of secret back-channel talks. Beijing and Taipei had outmaneuvered the world's most powerful surveillance networks. The real shock wasn't just the alliance, but the realization that the world had fundamentally misunderstood the region's key players. The global narrative had been rewritten in a single morning. The world was left scrambling to catch up. The alliance rests on four pillars, each binding China and Taiwan's futures. First, economic integration. A cross-strait common market will eliminate trade barriers, merging Taiwan's tech economy with China's vast market. Second, technology and innovation. Joint R&D centers will focus on AI, quantum computing, and biotech, uniting China's tech giants with Taiwan's semiconductor leaders. The goal: a self-sufficient, world-leading tech ecosystem challenging Silicon Valley's dominance. Third, peaceful dispute resolution. A permanent joint council will manage disagreements, backed by a non-aggression pact and demilitarization of the Taiwan Strait. This replaces the threat of war with structured dialogue. Fourth, cultural and educational exchange. Massive student programs, joint festivals, and media co-productions aim to build shared identity. The challenge winning over skeptical citizens, especially in Taiwan. These pillars intertwine economics, technology, politics, and culture. The alliance is more than a treaty, it's a blueprint for a new regional order. Success depends on trust, not just treaties. The stakes could not be higher. The world is watching. The announcement triggered chaos in global markets. The Dow plunged, defense stocks collapsed, and the VIX soared. Tech giants like Apple and Google saw their shares tumble, fearing exclusion from a new China-Taiwan tech bloc. The alliance promised streamlined supply chains, but also raised the specter of technological decoupling from the West. The US dollar weakened as the yuan's influence grew. Oil prices swung wildly as traders recalculated the energy needs of an integrated economic giant. The world's economic map was being redrawn in real time. Some sectors, like logistics and renewables, glimpsed opportunity amid the turmoil, but uncertainty reigned. Old alignments were shattered. Investors scrambled to adapt to the new reality. The China-Taiwan alliance was an economic earthquake. The aftershocks would reshape global commerce for years. The world was living in the tremors of a new era. For the United States, the alliance was a strategic disaster. Decades of military planning and trillions in defense spending were rendered irrelevant overnight. The White House was paralyzed, its Indo-Pacific strategy in ruins. America's allies, especially Japan, faced a crisis of confidence. Tokyo's security policy, once tied to Taiwan's defense, now confronted a consolidated bloc to the south. The US-Japan alliance faced its toughest test yet. In Europe, confusion and division deepened as the EU struggled to balance economic ties with China and security ties with Washington. Russia saw a strategic windfall as US focus shifted and its global leadership faltered. The alliance accelerated the move toward a multipolar world. US dominance was no longer assured, the dominoes were falling, and not in America's favor. Washington's nightmare had arrived not through war, but through an unexpected peace. The global balance of power was shifting, old certainties had vanished, the world order was up for grabs. The alliance is reshaping global supply chains overnight. Advanced manufacturing and assembly are consolidating into a single, powerful economic zone. Tech giants like Apple now face unprecedented dependency on the new bloc. The US and EU scramble to build domestic semiconductor capacity, but it will take years to catch up. In the short term, the world is more reliant than ever on a region writing its own rules. Trade flows are shifting as the bloc pulls in neighbors and strengthens UN-centered agreements. International corporations must choose double down in the bloc or retreat to smaller, safer markets. Many will split operations, creating costly parallel supply chains. The era of seamless globalization is over. Rival economic zones are the new reality. The rules of global commerce are being rewritten. The world must adapt or be left behind. The alliance's boldest move is its cultural and educational exchange. Tens of thousands of students will cross the strait. Joint films and festivals will celebrate shared heritage. The goal to replace decades of mistrust with a sense of common destiny. But in Taiwan, suspicion runs deep. Many fear cultural integration is a Trojan horse for political absorption. Success depends on genuine reciprocal exchanges, not propaganda. If the effort feels forced, it will backfire. Leaders stress mutual respect, framing the exchange as a dialogue between equals. The real test will be in classrooms, online forums, and daily life. Can shared culture bridge the political divide? The alliance is betting on the power of human connection. It's a high-stakes gamble for the future. The alliance faces daunting obstacles. Public skepticism in Taiwan is fierce. Protests demand transparency and a referendum. Overcoming mistrust will require more than economic promises. Legal and regulatory integration is a bureaucratic minefield, with thousands of laws to harmonize. Short-term economic pain is likely, with job losses and social unrest possible. Supply chain reorientation will be costly and complex. If benefits don't materialize quickly, support could evaporate. International pushback is inevitable. Expect diplomatic pressure, sanctions, and support for opposition. The alliance must project peace, not aggression, to gain global acceptance. Navigating these challenges will test the pact's resilience. The future of the alliance hangs in the balance. The China-Taiwan alliance signals the end of unchallenged American dominance. The world is entering a multipolar age with power diffusing among several major centers. Nations must now balance relationships with multiple blocs, not just Washington. The global order is being fundamentally re-evaluated. Will this new system bring stability or spark new rivalries? The alliance could set a precedent for peaceful conflict resolution, or inspire rigid confrontational blocs. The world stands at a crossroads. The future is unwritten, shaped by choices in Beijing, Taipei, Washington, and beyond. Old certainties are gone. A new epoch is beginning. Its character and its authors are yet to be determined.